Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday to you. Thank you for joining again in our conversation about the transformation of mental health through social work. That's what we have been talking about over the last several weeks. That's what we're going to continue talking about. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Karen Dubin. I have a PhD in social work. I'm an LCSW, and I am the Chief Operating Officer and one of the main facilitators for Sweet Institute. And I have been sharing with you and having a conversation with all of you about being a social worker and about what transforming mental health means to me, and also in that context, talking about some of the experiences and some of the things that have been coming up in our new or recently started social work power certificate course, which is all leading to a conference that we're holding in March that is going to be all about the power of social workers and how we can use that power to transform mental health to the better services and needs of the people that we're called to serve. So today, what we've been talking about in the course that we've been talking about identifying what our power is, what that means to be a person of power, why there might be some barriers in the identification of power. And so we've had some really interesting conversations about family history and upbringing and gender and biology and, epigenetics, and how all of those things have led us to believe in whatever it is we believe in terms of our place in terms of power, and knowing that all of that actually generates thought. And it's the thought that we have about the level of power we believe ourselves to or not to have. And that being part of the significance of this is that all of it happens in the space of thought. And so today I just wanted to talk about a little bit more about what it means to be somebody who has power, in terms of the thoughts that we have about power, how those things actually manifest themselves in our day-to-day work as social workers, and then what happens when we, the gap between sometimes, and not for everyone, right, but the gap that can occur between what we do and the power that we use in service of others, and really being able to embrace that same level of power when we think about our own needs and ourselves, because it all has to start with who it is that we are in the world, and being able to really honor who it is that we are, so that we can fully provide for the people we serve on a consistent basis, and have the momentum, the energy, the power, the fortitude to continue to pursue and persevere in the face of things that can be very, very challenging. And we do it for our clients. We do it all the time for our kids, for our families, for our loved ones. And so we're talking about the consistency through all the domains in our lives, where we really get to hold on to and maintain the empathy and the compassion, how we harness that power that we have to be able to transform mental health, and doing it, by being able to utilize the same skills that we do for our clients, for ourselves. So when we are harnessing the empathy and the compassion that we do for other people, how are we doing that for ourselves? How compassionate and empathic are we for ourselves? When we think about social justice, one of the things that came up about being a social worker is about, and a frequent conversation when we're talking about social work is about money, is about pay. And so when we are thinking about advocating for things like social justice, to what degree do we actually do that for ourselves when it comes to making sure that our needs are being met financially, that we are advocating for a raise or a higher salary, that we're able and willing to negotiate those things, that when we have private practices, the rate that we charge, how do we embody social justice so that it's not just something that's out there, but it's also something that's starting here, so that we really are in a position to be able to continue, lead by example, right? We're in many of these conversations, we're also talking about leadership. So being able to truly lead by example, in being able to, harness your own sense of social justice for yourself, and so there's a number of things that we're going to be touching on in these conversations. How do you harness your own power as a social worker? How does that start with you? What are the thoughts that you have about yourself as a powerful social worker that aid in the transformation of mental health, or that need to be looked at because they are a block for us to be able to move forward in this calling that we have? So let me hear from you. Put your thoughts in the box below, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And please join us also for Friday's social work power course. You could come to all of them, you could come to one of them, but just come and be in the conversation. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.